sometimes you see something, and instead of taking it for what it is, you take it for why it is. And that is exactly where I went when I saw this whole thing from Randy Miller on NJ.com with regard to Aaron Judge and, by extension, the San Francisco Giants. Okay? So first off, Randy Miller works out east, NJ.com. Okay? That does not stand for NoJudge.com. It stands for NewJersey.com.
It might stand for NoJudge.com.
It might. So I'm trying to figure out who he spoke to, why that person would speak to him, why that person would speak to him not off the record.
Anonymous, though, which is kind of off the record's cousin.
But this isn't the way the Giants work. So if this person actually knows what's going on with the Giants' plan, he's not going to speak on or off the record, or she, for that matter. Like, you're not... They're just... That's not the way they operate. They very much come from the weeds when they make a move. The majority of the teams here in the Bay Area... I know the Warriors, we've talked about a leak, right? They got the video thing, and they sort of telegraphed their pass with Jordan Poole. But by and large, you don't see stuff coming from the Giants, from the 49ers, especially when it comes to free agency, which is the most tight-lipped area. So
the Niners had a little bit of a leak problem years ago, and then now with this Christian McCaffrey signing, Tim Kawakami with I wouldn't be too stunned.
Yeah, but even he was stunned at how much and when and all of that.
Right.
And as recently as a week before it happened, we were calling the idea of Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers a pipe dream, ridiculous, just for fun, let's talk about it.
Right.
And then it's reality. So listen to some of the quotes that come out of this article by Randy Miller, NJ.com, and it's all aspects of the Aaron Judge situation. You pointed to this earlier on the changeover. Quote, "This looked, sounded, and felt like the end of an era, especially when Judge ended one encounter with a veteran reporter by saying, quote, 'I'll see you somewhere down the road.' It's not quite Jimmy's see ya, but okay, you take that as a clue. And that I can get because he probably saw that with his own eyes. But then he spoke to a person with knowledge of the Giants' thinking. That's what I want to focus on. Who is that person?
Who has knowledge of the Giants' thinking?
Why would they be speaking to Randy Miller?
Where would that person be?
Why would that person, if they wanted to speak publicly...
How would he know who that person is? I got a lot of questions.
Why would it be on the record? Even in anonymity.
Yeah.
Why would this be on the record? Because if this person has knowledge of the Giants' thinking, the thought is, well, they're somewhere within the Giants. The Giants are not helped by this. I want everyone to understand this. It's fun. It's good news if you want Aaron Judge on the Giants. This does not help their bargaining position.
I don't think it hurts it, though.
Let's put a flag outside that says, hey, Aaron, we'll pay whatever the hell you want. Please.
Come here.
That doesn't help the Giants.
It doesn't hurt, though.
It makes you look desperate, and it also means if I'm Aaron's agent, well, I'm going to use you.
Is that Boris? Is he a Boris guy?
I don't think he is.
No.
Is he? I don't think he is.
Okay.
I don't know his agent off the top of my head. But anyway, the person with knowledge of the Giants' thinking. Let's focus there. One of the quotes is, the Judge is at the top of the Giants' list, and they won't be underbid, which is a bad quote because what he actually means is they won't be outbid. They won't be overbid.
I bet you they will be underbid. And if the A's weigh in with a 2-year, $11 million deal, they would be underbid, or any other team you want to fill in the blank with.
So what they meant to say was the Giants will not be outbid. And then goes on to say, if they miss out, it won't be because of money. Now, that I actually agree with that. That is my much less on the inside understanding and thought as well. Okay?
And that's why I don't think that this hurts them in terms of this getting out there, because the notion is, I think it's a well-known fact that they want Aaron Judge. They have a ton of money to get Aaron Judge, and I don't think that they will be outbid. They might be underbid, but I don't think that they'll be outbid, so I don't think that this really hurts them.
I liked your thought a moment ago. You said they're totally going to be underbid,
Right.
Probably by the Oakland A's
Or many other teams,
what would the A's offer be for Aaron Judge?
I think probably 2 years, $11 million.
Okay, 2 years.
Seems high.
Kyle, man, Kyle's antennas went straight up when we just said that.
2 years, $11 million paid out over 40 years.
Yeah, with incentives too.
Well, and for the A's, it's really going to come down to the fine print. They're going to be like, well, wait a minute. We didn't say you could have parking also.
No.
You're not getting parking.
It's expensive
We're
there.
giving you $11 million. You can take it out of your check. Anyway.
Bart, and you're there. Boop, boop.
Bart's already on the Giants. Anyway, the person added that the Giants plan to entice Judge further by signing at least 2 high-priced free agents. So now this
2
person,
including him, or him and 1?
I think him and 1,
Okay.
but I don't know. I'm not this person. This person is anonymous. We can't talk to this person. But now this person is putting out into the world. By the way, they are totally going to overspend on Judge, and they're not done. So if you're Carlos Correa's agent or Trey Turner's agent, come on down. We're going to freak out about you too. All right? More quotes from the person.
Are you the person, Mark?
I'm not the person, and I wouldn't tell you if I was. Quote, the Giants are not going to stop with Judge. They have so much money freed up. True, but does that sound like their philosophy? At any point, has that ever been? We're here with our bag. Who wants in?
Well, DeSclafani and LaStella wanted it.
Yeah, that's different. Those are not that big.
No, but
Not compared to these guys.
right. To your point,
Yeah.
and this is where I've always been of the mind that the Giants aren't going to get Aaron Judge because Farhan Zaidi and company have not gone out and spent that big long-term money. Now, they gave Rodon $20+ million per, but it was a short deal. I haven't seen Farhan Zaidi. He hasn't signed anyone for longer than 3 years, let alone 8 or 9, which is what this is going to
And
take.
in fact, if you go back to even look at his time with the Dodgers didn't do much of it then either. They've largely done that after Farhan's departure. Mookie
Right.
Betts, Freddie
Right.
Freeman, and beyond. Okay, next quote. They need a draw with the Dodgers and the Padres in their division, spending big money on big names. I know the Giants are also, this is interesting, also feeling pressure with the Warriors doing so well and spending big in the same market.
You
End
nailed
quote.
that from a couple weeks ago. That's exactly what you said. I
Oh.
think you are the person.
And add in Christian McCaffrey, probably since these quotes got put out there.
True.
49ers, big names, Warriors, Wiggins, Poole, boop, ring night, boop, boop, big name, glitz, glamour. Giants are like, Yaz. So this is not just about baseball.
I could have taken a David VR shot there, but I didn't
know,
want
I'm
to.
Sorry, and I love
It's okay.
Yaz. I love Yaz. Hopefully he's in Tennessee not listening. I love Yaz. But like
He's pre-arb 3.
they need to not just win. They need fans. They need attendance. They need people buying hot dogs.
Sizzle.
Okay?
They need some sizzle.
All right. So this goes on and on.
For shizzle.
Dodgers and other clubs could become serious suitors, turning it into a bidding war, could surpass $300 million. All of this is very true. Now, the other side to it is that Randy Miller talked to someone, quote unquote, in the Judge camp. And that person said, yep, Giants are his first choice, and he's soured on the Yankees.
Soured.
Yeah. The last quote from the person, the Giants are confident that they can sign Judge. It'll be interesting for sure.
Yes.
That's the end of the article.
And part of the article does talk about Linden, California. And if you Google it, if you go to your MapQuest or your Thomas Guide, if you're an old soul, it's right outside of Stockton. And I believe the article also mentions that Judge's parents still live there.
They do?
And his in-laws still live there, which tells me he likely married somebody from Linden, a high school sweetheart type, and Linden is still something that's very close and connected to him, and it's not that far away
Yeah.
from San Francisco.
Hey, guys, do they have kids? Hey, Kyle, will you do some creepy recon? Do the Judges have
Hi,
kids?
Aaron.
Will you look? Yeah, just Google it. See if Aaron Judge has got kids. I wonder because I have heard that his wife is and you would expect this, a very large part of this discussion. No, they don't have kids. Okay, 30 years old, married, both from Linden. Maybe they want to start a family. Maybe this contract needs to be 8 years and they're going, and this is going to be it. So where do you want to raise the kids, honey? And I've also heard that his wife was also very upset with Brian Cashman. So people can understand, let's go back a minute, to why Judge might still be ticked off at the Yankees with regard to their contract situation. It's not just that they didn't hit a number. When they didn't hit a number and it got to opening day, the Yankees went public with exactly what they offered him. Hey, we offered $213.5 million, and he said no.
Can you believe he said no? That's what the sentiment was.
Exactly. This is exactly what Washington tried to do to Juan Soto and then traded him about 8 days later. You put it out in the public, it makes him look greedy. It is very, very roundly considered as the thing that really ticked Aaron and his wife off, and they're still holding on to it today. Okay? One last thing from Randy Miller. He writes, there is another sign that Judge appears ready to leave. In past Octobers, he was distraught visibly while talking to the media after the Yankees were ousted from the playoffs. This year, he did not seem nearly as upset, even though he had just hit 139 with 2 home runs in 9 games.
Oops.
The hated Astros had sent the Yankees out for the 3rd time since 2017, and they fizzled after building a 61-23 record through July 8th. They were on pace for 118 wins. Has Judge become accustomed to the Yankees simply losing in the playoffs? Now, that's trying to read what's going on in someone's head, but that's from someone who's been next to Judge when they get ousted from the playoffs every year, because they do go every year.
Yeah.
And they get ousted every year. And he said this.
By Houston.
And this looked different.
Yes, and it looked different, yet I think the thing that sticks with him and probably would stick with me if I was Aaron Judge, early in the year, reports come out that he refused or turned down that contract offer. And those of us who are working 5 days a week, 40-hour weeks or whatever, you hear that number and you think, the audacity of this guy to turn down 230. Who do you think you are turning down $213 million? So he starts out a little bit slow, and Yankee fans, which is what Yankee fans do, you boo the guy. Well, skip ahead to the end of the year, and he sets a record, an American League record, a Yankee record, most home runs in a regular season at 62, and you cheer him, all rise, we all have our gavels, he's the best. Then you get into the postseason, and he struggles, and what do? You boo him again. The boos are renewed. So if I'm Aaron Judge, having already turned down $213.5 million, had a season that's going to put me north of $300 million now from Yankees, Mets, whoever's going to pay me. Do I really want to stay in New York and make that money knowing full well what comes with it, the Boo Birds, or do I want to come home to Northern California where I'm going to be beloved? And by the way, if he becomes a Giant and he dons number 99, he will wear the highest uniform number in Giants history. Do you know who currently holds that distinction?
Oh, gosh.
For the Giants?
Absolutely not.
Sam Lubman, do you know? Because you're a Giants head.
I mean, you know me. I've made this very clear. I have no clue what number anyone wears. I have to ask my boys all the time. I know that Debo wears 19. I know that Kittle's 85.
Do you know what Barry Zito wore?
75.
Correct.
Is that right?
There are 4 uniform numbers that have been worn by the Giants that are higher than Barry Zito.
Oh, my gosh.
I might be able to give you a number. I don't know if I can give you a name.
Give it to me.
What's the number?
I want to say the highest number is 86.
Incorrect. It is 87 Dan Otero. Dan Otero.
You could have given me 114 guesses. Yeah. I would not have gotten that.
Gene Machi wore 79. Gregory Santos wore 78.
Oh, that's right.
And Harlan Garcia wore 76.
Okay.
As did Kervin Castro and Cole Waits.
There you go. Well,
99 would be the highest.
76 is the taxi squad number. Whoever's on it, here's your jersey.
Right.
You're going to wear number 76. Look,
So Danny O right now holds the highest number ever at 87.
I would never have gotten that ever.
That's part
ever,
of the
ever.
fun of the bit.
So here's one thing though. Like I've reached a spot where I'm kind of done figuring out what makes a free agent tick. Remember Garrett Cole? He and Brandon Crawford, it's family.
That's right.
It's like, look, I don't know what makes a guy tick. Home, the jersey, money. I got no idea.
Well, we know it's almost always money. So let's just say that the money in this one is even. Let's say all 5 suitors are going to offer him 9 years and $350 million. Let's just say that's the price, okay?
I mean, then I think he stays the Yankees.
If the Yankees, the Giants,
I
the
think
Cubs, the Dodgers, they all offer that.
I don't think the Giants will be outbid, and I don't think they'll be even bid. I think the Giants will hey, Aaron, you go get your best offer. We'll beat it.
But in terms of like what makes him tick, let's just say that. So the Giants say 345, and the Yankees say 346, and we go back and forth. If the money is equal, what do you think would make a player tick?
It's either loyalty and what you know with your current teammates who you love and wanting to achieve the goal you've been trying to achieve for the first 7 years. It's either that or cue the LeBron music. I'm coming home. And we want to raise a family, and my wife wants to be near grandparents in Linden. And I have no clue. But here's one thing that I really am putting a key on in this. We sat here 2 weeks ago and watched Steph Curry sit in front of a podium after the Draymond punch. And then Steve Kerr and Bob Myers. And many of us said the same thing. Whew. I've never seen their face look like that before. They look beat.
Bummed.
They look exasperated. They look like they've come to some new conclusions. This felt different because one thing as a human being you can't hide is that look in your eyes. You can't hide it no matter what you try to do.
The look of disappointment.
I saw that in the Warriors. That shaped my opinions that I shared throughout that whole experience. Oh, people get punched all the time, no big deal. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you're a former NBA player and it happened every other day in practice. I know that the 3 key figures at the top of the Warrior organization looked spent and done. Done. He's saying that Aaron looks like that to him and to others in that locker room and in that clubhouse who are there every day. And Anthony Rizzo goes public yesterday, almost sounding like he's begging both sides to figure this out. Come with the big contract. Give him the captaincy, which hasn't been done since Derek Jeter. It's like, please find a way to keep Judge. If they're looking in his eyes and they're seeing goodbye in his eyes, that matters to me because that's the one card that I don't think you can hold close to the vest. That is just something you see. And I don't know Aaron Judge, and I'm not there. But the people who do and the people who are, that's the message that they're sending. He looks done with the Yankees.
And I can understand why. Because the contract details leak. He gets booed. He sets a record. He struggles in the postseason, and he gets booed again. And if you're Aaron Judge, you step back and you say, what do I have to do? Yes, granted, I didn't do it in the postseason. By the way, he was not alone. They got swept by the Houston Astros. It's not like Judge came up in a 3-2 series lead and went 0 for 4 with 4 punchies in spots where the bases were loaded, and he absolutely gacked it away. Their entire team got owned by Houston. And by the way, the Astros are a better team.
Yep.
The Astros are the best team in baseball. Apologies to the Dodgers, but Houston's a dynasty. They're in their 6th consecutive league championship series. This Astros team is legit. Put the cheating scandal aside. Before the cheating scandal, after the cheating scandal, Houston's the real deal. And yet Judge and company, they fell short. So if you're Aaron Judge, and that's why I was wondering what you thought in terms of his priorities, if I'm Aaron Judge and the money's equal and I look at situations, I don't want to be in New York anymore. What did you do for New York?
Well,
you hit 62 home runs, and you still got booed in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, they're closer.
Forget you, New York.
They're closer to a World Series than the Giants are, but I get that aspect of it, which is you're booing me? You boo me? I mean, come on.
You boo me, you lose me.